In last week's video, I said at the end that I felt like there was something else I wanted to talk about, but I forgot what it was, and couldn't come up with anything, and so I didn't end up making another video or anything. And then I remembered what it was when I was editing it, and I thought, oh, now I know what I was going to talk about, and that would be my land. I've I've made a couple of land update videos over the years, and it went from transitioning the land from a forest into a building site and talking about actually building a house, and then, hitting the hardships that I hit right after COVID. And it was like, okay, well, I guess I'm not going to build a house. And then talking about selling the land and then trying to sell the land. And that has been an ongoing, more than 2 year battle now, because no one really has the money, I guess. I mean, there's a lot of factors to that, but you can't really go get a loan on land like this. Not a loan of that size, just because, like, yes, the land is build ready. It's got all the things that you would need to get started, but at the end of the day, getting a loan on just an empty lot is kind of hard. And unless you're getting a land house bundle that, you've already picked a house or you're going to build a house or whatever, yeah, it's hard to get a loan on just the land. So in most cases, we're looking at cash buyers who are into buying my land. And the cash buyers that have come along, well, they're cash buyers because they're cash buyers. You don't just accidentally stumble into that kind of money. You've thought long about how you want to manage your money, and you've managed your money to this point. So I guess the point I'm trying to get at is they're penny pinchers, and they they don't care to walk away from a situation if they're not getting the best deal possible, because they want the best deal possible. So anyway, went to my land a month ago. It's been almost a year since I've went down there, and well, this is what it looks like. It has grown up massively. Now, as you can tell, there's not a lot of grass still. This is mainly just sprouts of grass, mostly weeds, and a couple of trees have fallen, but you can't really see that just yet. That little clip right there was all I got of the land, and then yeah. So it has been cleaned up. I paid a guy a lot of money to clean it up, and my hope was, the second that we got it cleaned up, I was going to drop the price on it and just, the first bidder, here you go, take it. I don't care. And I had an idea of what I wanted to get for it, but I wasn't sure. And so we dropped the price about 15,000 from what it was. A massive price drop just to try, and if there's any interest at all, we want those people to come now. Highest offer takes it, kind of thing. And within a week of doing that, we got an offer. And I'm not going to give numbers just because, I don't want that information out there right now. But the guy gave an offer, and it was within acceptable range, but I would have been happier if I could have gotten a little more. So I asked my realtor if he would even entertain 5,000 more. We were right about where I wanted to be anyway, but I thought if I could get 5,000 more out of him, I would be happy. I think he would be happy. That's a reasonable compromise, and we could make it happen. He claimed to be a cash buyer, $1,000 earnest money, all this stuff. The thing that I've dealt with this before, and I typically try to avoid it, but at the time I'm just, I'm trying to get rid of my land. I don't really care. The offer was a verbal offer, and a verbal offer typically can be used to simplify things. If you've got a property listed for 150 and I want it for 125, I can come in and say, well, I'll give you 125. And then you can come back and say, well, how about 145? And then I can say, well, how about 130? And you go 135. Okay, deal. We do this back and forth behind the scenes, and it doesn't require a ton of paperwork. It doesn't require, you sign an offer each time, I sign a counter offer each time, blah, blah, blah. We come to an agreement verbally, and then I submit the offer that we've already pre-agreed on, and then you'll just agree to it. And it'll be one set of papers to sign. The problem with that is you're not bound to anything. There is no contract whatsoever. If I offer, for example, if I offered you 120 and you said, yeah, I'll take it, deal. I have the opportunity to back out at no repercussion to me because I've not signed any papers. I've not made an official offer, and I've not put up any of my, claimed earnest money. I've not put any of that away. And I walk away knowing you would take that kind of money. Some people could use that as a tactic. They could say, well, I'll offer 120, and if I say, sure, yeah, let's do it, then they'll say, you know what, I'm not really interested right now. And then they just walk away, and then in a month, they'll say, well, you took 120 last month, you still haven't sold it, so how about 110, And that's when I'd tell them where to go, but that's a different story. So verbal offers can be useful, they can save time, but in the most cases, they're a waste of time and they're not really worth it. I need written offers, because had this guy made a written offer and I accepted that written offer, it is now a contract. It was a contract when you offered it, and it became a contract when I accepted it. You would be due to put up your $1,000 earnest money, and if you backed out at that point, I would still receive the $1,000 earnest money. That's your deposit for wasting my time if you back out. And if you don't put up the earnest money, having a contract, there's room now, there's legal document that I can say, okay, I'm going to go after you for the $1,000 now because you wasted my time. I'm going to make sure I get compensated for it. So, that's basically what happened here. The guy made an offer. I won't say the amount because I don't want it publicly out there just yet. When the land sells, I'll share what it sold for, absolutely. I just don't want to say this is what the guy offered and I was willing to accept it because, then everybody would know, oh, well, he's willing to take this. Let's go lowball him. No, we're not playing that. At that particular point in time, I would have taken the amount he offered, but at this particular point in time, I'm not going to. I see that was a waste of time. It's always the ones that you try to give a good deal to that end up wasting your time. But he made an offer, and I asked if he would consider $5,000 more. I felt like it was a fair compromise, and he said not no, but he wanted to go walk the property first. And I was like, okay, that's a reasonable request. So he was supposed to go walk the property and then get back with me, yes or no. And my plan was to just say, if he said no, I'd go back to his original offer and accept it, and we'd move forward. He went and walked the property and said, oh, I didn't know it had this steep bank on it. I'm no longer interested. And I'm thinking, why did you even offer if you hadn't walked the property to begin with? If you didn't even know about this steep bank on the property, there's no way you'd have missed that. If you went and looked at it, you would not have missed it. So really, it was just a waste of my time. And I'm sure, in the near future, we're going to see the repercussions of that waste of my time. Was it, my theory of, well, we'll see him in a month and he's going to try to offer 10,000 less or something? Absolutely not. But I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what ends up happening there. But I had spoke to a financial advisor about my finances, my situation. And he was telling me about, how basically a large portion of the United States is defaulting on everything right now. Since COVID, people have had a really hard time getting back on their finances. Some people are out of work still, and some people aren't making what they used to make, and like me. And, just everyone's in a situation right now. And so he said there's more than 50% of credit cards in the United States are defaulting right now. And companies are panicking. Banks are panicking because, this could be, I mean, obviously the government's probably going to move in and bail them out, but this could be the end of these banks if something doesn't change, and soon. So basically, he was telling me that they're willing to work with you. A lot of them are willing to work with you because they're seeing, in my case, 6 to 8 months, many of my credit cards have received zero. Just because I don't have it. I don't have it to give to them. That's just where we're at. So he was telling me that, in many of those cases, I should be able to call the banks and offer 30% of my total amount due and get it. Even in best case scenario, 50% of what I owe and get it. And so that would put me at far below my total out of debt number would be far below what I would sell the land for, not even counting the 20 grand that the government owes me in overpaid taxes, not counting trying to sell any of my vehicles or any of that. Just being completely out of debt at about half of what I actually owe through the power of negotiation because of the current state of people can't pay their bills. So it really piqued my interest. I'm out of video, so I'm going to have to find something to throw in here at the end. But anyway, it really piqued my interest, and I was prepared. I was ready to take this offer on this land, get it sold, get completely out of debt through the method of settlement, and call it a day. Be done. Completely out of debt. I wouldn't have anything to show for the land being gone, but it's a compromise and a worthwhile one at that, I believe, because I'd be completely out of debt except for my cars. My Cybertruck's almost paid off. My Model Y, I'm not going to make any attempt to pay it off any sooner because it is, 1.99%. I at least did manage to get that. So yeah. I mean, the money that I would have left over from selling the land, settling my debt, I could pay off my Cybertruck and have plenty of money left over. I wouldn't put it toward the Model Y because of the interest rate, but I could do other things with it. I could put it in savings and earn interest at a higher interest rate than I'm paying for the loan on my car. So that would be amazing. So, but we wait to see another day. I'm sure another offer will come soon enough. Like I said, we did a major price drop. The land is looking pretty good after I got it cleaned up, and I'm willing to let it go. The right offer comes along and it's gone. Whatever that offer may be, but I thought that offer was here last week, and I don't understand what kind of person offers on land that they have not seen. But neither here nor there on that. So I'll keep you guys updated. If an offer comes through and it's an actual offer and we're going to move to close really fast, then we'll talk about it. And then I'll let you guys know how my negotiations go with the credit card companies, because this could all be useful information if it ends up working out. Hopefully this guy knows what he's talking about. But I don't know. I kind of feel like he does. He's been around with this stuff. So maybe. We'll see.